They worked together 30 years ago.
And they're still at it.
And they're still apparently,
They cooperated a long time back. They're currently at it. They're still evidently, I don't realize Sharon Stone certainly presumably unnecessarily disgraced Billy Baldwin there yet for him to respond like that with all the advantage of we are aware of what we know from Me Too, the show. Between Billy Baldwin and Sharon Stone is getting warmed as the two are having a go at one another on the web, which lit as a little fire between the two amazing entertainers has developed into gigantic blasts that have gotten the grapevine humming. This time Sharon Stone has delivered a few salvos focused on Billy Baldwin, and her fans are going off the deep end anyway. Billy Baldwin is no exposed target and has likewise tossed a couple of punches of his own. Baldwin answered via virtual entertainment, guaranteeing he has sufficient her. He can compose a book pretty much all the expert tales about her. What did the notorious entertainer say? And what was Billy Baldwin's reaction? I have all the hot tea here. So sit easily and let me serve you the bit. Entertainer Sharon Stone stood out as truly newsworthy a couple of years prior when she uncovered that a specific Hollywood maker requested that she lay down with her co-star in a film to upgrade their on-screen science. The 66-year-old entertainer made the disclosure in her diary, The Excellence of Residing 2 Times, which she delivered in 2021. This was at the level of the Met 2 development, which saw a few entertainers uncover makers who have, say them, a single structure or the other anyway. Stone didn't uncover the character of the maker who proposed the profane demonstration, passing on her fans to go crazy with a few hypotheses. Many names were proposed, yet there was no substantial proof to nail one individual or the other to the charge. Following 3 years of steady hypothesis, the comprehensive recollection entertainer at last uncovered the character of the maker who requested that she lay down with Billy Baldwin. And it was, in all honesty, the maker of the film bit Robert Evans. The occurrence happened during the shooting of the 1993 thrill ride movie, bit featuring Allison McKee and Tom Berenger, describing what prompted that abnormal idea from Robert Evans. Sharon Stone asserted the makers couldn't feel the science among her and her on-screen old flame, Billy Baldwin. The makers pinned the absence of science on Baldwin's part and felt that he was dialing back the movie along these lines. One day when Stone showed up on set, Robert Evans called her into his office for a conversation that was the point at which he dropped the sensation that she expected to bed Billy Baldwin. She was significantly more amazed when Robert Evans admitted that he purportedly laid down with Ava Gardner. For a comparative explanation, Evans going around his office in his shades, clearing up for me that he laid down with Ava Gardner and I ought to lay down with Billy Baldwin, since, supposing that I laid down with Billy Baldwin's presentation would get better. Stone recollected, and we really wanted Billy to get better in the film since that was the issue. He's going around his office in his shades, clarifying for me that he laid down with Ava Gardner and I ought to lay down with Billy Baldwin, making sense of Evans' rationale. She said if I would lay down with Billy, then we would have science on screen, and in the event that I would have S with him, that would save the film anyway. She realized that Billy wasn't the issue yet. She was showing that she was edgy and couldn't lay down with him and keep shooting as though nothing occurred. And the genuine issue in the film was me, since I was so tense, dislike a genuine entertainer who could just F him and get things in the groove again. And the genuine issue is that I was unsettled. Stone added. Sharon Stone asserted that she didn't acquiesce to Evans' requests and shot the whole move to its decision. The film performed respectably well in the cinematic world, reining in $116 million on a tight set, pending plan of $60 million. In the meantime, Billy Baldwin, the more youthful sibling of the more popular Alec Baldwin, took shots back at Sharon Stone, calling her out for her ridiculous allegations. He guaranteed that the entertainer has consistently had eyes for him and, surprisingly, made passes at him, yet he disregarded her advances. Baldwin answered via web-based entertainment, asserting he has sufficient her, he could compose a book pretty much every one of the unusual amateurish stories about are taking to X. He composed. Not certain why Sharon Stone continues to discuss me such a long time later. Does she actually have a keen interest in me, or is she actually hurt after such a long time since I evaded her advances? He then, at that point, showed that he needed to utilize sly strategies to try not to lock lips with his co-star in the last scene of the film. I have such a lot of her. It would blow her mind, yet I've kept calm, Baldwin said, adding that he had entreated Evans to permit me to arrange Gee, the last S scene in the photograph beneath, so I wouldn't need to kiss Sharon. He then, at that point, took steps to compose a book about Sharon Stone's supposed amateurish perspectives and request on the off chance that the entertainer wouldn't enter allegations keep thinking about whether it ought to compose a book and tell the numerous many upsetting, unusual, and unproficient stories about Sharon. He compromised that may be fun. Many fans felt that Billy Baldwin was diverting from the main problem Sharon Stone brought up in her journal they called attention to that she was discussing when a maker suggested she laid down with a co-star to improve science, which didn't have anything to do with Billy. Subsequently, they asked why Billy would come at Sharon like that, particularly when he wasn't at the focal point of the debate. Fans censored the entertainer for bouncing into issues and battles that had barely anything to do with him, like this fan, who composed via online entertainment share. And Stone was grumbling about the chief forcing her to lay down with a co-star. It was an analysis of the chief, not the co-star. I didn't actually think it was a bang on Billy Baldwin, who, by the way, is definitely not an extraordinary entertainer. I don't think he truly expected to come after her. The manner in which he did, one fan-composed individuals are shouting out now, since more secure to make statements happened quite a while back, were difficult to bring out. In addition to, she isn't discussing Baldwin yet about the maker of the film, so this analyst thought Billy wasn't to be faulted when they composed. I'm unfortunately compelling anyone into laying down with your associate is never smart, regardless of how old of a story it will be. It should be informed. We actually have managers like that today, and not Billy Baldwin is to be faulted here yet. Robert Evans. A few pundits pondered the rationale of Robert Evans' answer for the absence of science between the two stars. They felt that resting together would prefer to have muddled things and further dialed back creation. I coordinated a couple of plays where the main couple were either hitched or dozing together, and truly the science was out of this world. Doesn't mean it would be so in each occasion. Neither Sharon nor Billy are what I would view as excessively capable in the first place. Trying to say others like this one upheld Robert Evans' idea, demanding that it would have worked on the off chance that the two Vips had truly rested together. It was a long time back. It sounds to me that perhaps that chief was right. If they'd rested together, perhaps Sharon would have no desire to talk about it by any means. Inquisitively, word on the road proposes that Sharon concurs with the opinions of her fans. First of all, she wasn't alluding to Billy Baldwin. Her assertion was explicit, and it referenced the objective of her reactions accordingly. She supposedly thought about what Billy Baldwin heard prior to putting her on impact rumors from far and wide suggests that the entertainer was annoyed and swore on her life that she wouldn't excuse her co-star for the outlandish assaults on her character. Profound throat sources guarantee the complete recollection. Star denied every one of the allegations evened out against her by Baldwin and demand that she had no pulverize at all on her partner. You'd be pardoned to believe that Billy and Stone's quarrel began a couple of days prior, when actually they've been at one another's neck for the beyond 30 years. They have exchanged affronts the past, with Baldwin hinting that Stone wasn't appealing while Stone called Baldwin a kid. Obviously, their fight started on the extremely set that a maker prescribed dozing altogether to improve the science between the two, chronicling the quarrel between the two entertainers. In his book, American Rhapsody, screenwriter for the film bit Joe Esteros guaranteed that the two essentially could have done without one another. He made sense of that Sharon would let Billy know that she favored her sibling Alec Baldwin to him. Give me a man, give me Alec. I'd allow Alec to toss me over a table whenever he reviewed Sharon, once telling the Chiefs he additionally guaranteed that Stone would wipe her mouth in the wake of kissing him, or flush it with mouthwash. Stayed quiet during a kiss anyway. Sharon's disposition seemed to confound the cast and group as Joe revealed that the entertainer vowed to make Billy Baldwin fall so hard for her that he wouldn't have to. He optioned to help himself. Now, this confounding demeanor caused everybody to accept that Sharon loved Billy yet didn't have the foggiest idea how to communicate her thoughts anyway. Sharon rubbished Joe's cases after she saw the remarks circling on the web. She composed, "I believe it's humorous. I realized Joe was interesting, yet I didn't figure he could compose parody." In an ensuing meeting with the New Yorker, Sharon Stone explained that disarray, demanding that she frequently welcomed Billy to her trailer to practice their scenes to produce the required science for the film. When I would agree to him, how about you come to my trailer and we'll deal with the scenes. I don't think he understood that I truly needed to chip away at the scenes. Stone told the power source they were pushing elective Real factors exceptionally severe with the two of us. The overseer of the film, Philip Clammer, illuminated the episode in his 2007 book Satan's Manual